teach ChatGPT how to write email in your style, it needs your bio, it needs to know who are you and how you communicate, what level of English you have, like almost everything. But you can actually import it to custom instructions already within ChatGPT, and then every other conversation, every other email will be written already in that way. This is the Strength Finder result of my employee number one. Then analyze it and tell me what are the strengths of this employee and how can I lead this employee in a better way.
How about teams? Do you think that ChatGPT is capable of analyzing different personalities and maybe giving me some hints how I can lead the team in a better way?
So I will upload a file with more data about all of my employees, which I have, and then run the basic analysis of that file. And at the end, I would actually get my answers back, and it will say like, okay, this is the chemistry within your team. Like, for example, employee number one and employee number three are good communicators. You have very statistical people, 2 and 4 are statistically driven, right? So how to make them collaborate better, and it will give you tips like how to do it, more efficiently. How you can actually build up your leadership skills.
Hi, I'm ROMAN ZELENKA and welcome to my podcast.
Jan, we are very good friends for many years, and I know you are a true AI user, but tell us, what does it mean?
What does it mean? I will try to explain it in a simple way. Actually, I use AI daily. This is what it basically means. But what I mean is that I use AI for making my life better and improving my company. I'm running a small digital agency where I use daily actually AI for daily projects and daily jobs and tasks, which took so many hours in the past. So I learned to improve my productivity with AI, and it became such a huge part of me or of my daily life that I would actually call myself a power user of AI, which means like super advanced one. I'm not creating the tools, but I am, using them pretty often.
Amazing. So let's jump into some pretty cool advanced techniques how to make our life easier. And today we are just for you to know our audience, people in leadership positions, company owners, team managers, or maybe just normal people who wants to make their life easier and implement some AI assistance. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good to me. So let's go and let's start with the first one. You told or you said that many listeners are business people or being part of a leadership teams, and many of them probably wonder like, okay, AI, how can I use AI like generate text, or what I can generate profile image for my coworkers, or what else can I do? I will tell you what I did in a couple of months ago, right? When you work in a corporation, you have or a company, or you are a leader leading a team, you have your people, right? And very often you do assessment, actually quizzes or tasks like Gallup Strength Finder, for example. And what I did in the past was, and what I recommend, for example, leaders to do, if everybody is having monthly or biweekly or actually quarterly or yearly reviews, and you are not sure how to actually lead your team, you have some struggles or you have some issues, the communication is not on the level you would expect, then you can do one thing. You can actually run a test with all your employees. You can then step by step import it to, for example, ChatGPT, and ask like, okay, this is the Strength Finder result of my employee number one. Then analyze it and tell me what are the strengths of this employee and how can I lead this employee in a better way. Then a few minutes later, you have a result. And in my actually experience, what I did was, I work as a freelancer and as an owner of a digital agency. So for me, it was different. I worked on myself with my Gallup. And the result which came back was like, okay, Jan, these are your strengths, for example, communication, I don't know, like leadership and so on. But you actually lack let's say you lack communication skills with the team. I work so long by myself as a freelancer that I lost a little bit of of a spark with collaborative tasks. So the ChatGPT told me I should focus more on going out to the people, to get, build up my strength back, or, like to increase it. So I started to use that knowledge more often. I've actually, when I applied in the past to some jobs, for example, or task or employees or clients, I actually did the research always through ChatGPT and ask it like, okay, how can I work with this client? Like, how can I work with this, company? This is what they do. They sell, for example, I don't know, peanut butters, right? So, and I used it based on my strengths and based on my personality, which is what I recommend to, for example, leaders to do.
Sounds really good, and maybe very useful for someone being in the leadership position. I would never, because I'm just a basic user of AI, and I would never expect that this is possible. That I can have some really professional analysis of my personality or personality of my employees, and I can use the help of you say ChatGPT to analyze those results and maybe giving me some tips how I can be a better leader, how I can maybe motivate that person in a better way, what works, what doesn't work with that person. How about teams? Do you think that ChatGPT is capable of analyzing different personalities and maybe giving me some hints how I can lead the team in a better way?
Yes, it's possible, and it's done in a similar way than before. I would just, not upload one data or one file of one employee. I would simply upload a table with, like whatever results I have about my team, communication skills, let's say from 1 to 10, or, collaboration from 1 to 10, and scales. So I would upload a file with more data about all of my employees, which I have, and then run the basic analysis of that file. And at the end, I would actually get my answers back, and it will say like, okay, this is the chemistry within your team. Like, for example, employee number 1 and employee number 3 are good communicators. You have very statistical people, 2 and 4 are statistically driven, right? So how to make them collaborate better. And it would give you tips like how to do it, more efficiently, how you can actually build up your leadership skills.
And then that brings me to another topic that I'm not familiar with, but you say with ChatGPT, I can import data, I can analyze the data, and I can also export it in specific formats. Is that possible?
Yes, that's actually a good point. The new version of ChatGPT, GPT-4, allows you to work with data in any format. So it actually generates text. You can import text, but also export text in a TXT file, right? Then you can generate image and upload image and also export image. So it works with many files. For example, you can upload and export actually PDFs, right? The exported PDFs is just the text. It's not a graphic designer or visible, or it doesn't have the look of a graphic designer, but it can export the basic PDF. Also, if you are a coder, for example, it works with the code, and it can actually export your code, and you can use that code to build up your website, build up your application, and so on. So yes, it works with import and export as well.
Let's say I'm in a leadership position and I need a PowerPoint presentation. How to do that?
You have now two options how you can do that. The one is actually install a plugin, which is something the advanced user of ChatGPT should know, that there are three options of how to use it. The one is you can use GPT-4. The second one is GPT 3.5, and there is the option with plugins. When you have the plugins, you can actually work with anything. So you can install a plugin, which is now actually released yesterday. It's from Canva, the graphic designer design tool. And it's an integration of the ChatGPT and Canva. So what it means and how it works, that you actually prompt, like whatever graphic designer, let's say, I would like to create a presentation, as you say. I would like to create a presentation for my next speech. The presentation should be pink and should have a font called Poppins Bold, for example. Those are very technical, but yeah, those details, right? What it does, the integration works with Canva. So Canva actually and ChatGPT generates the first draft of that visual board or slide and then exports it to Canva. And after logging it to your Canva, the design is waiting for you there, and you can further, do some changes, small adjustments, and so on. So you do not need to go to PowerPoint and then copy paste the text. You don't need to copy paste the images. It's already in Canva. So that's like the newest integration of AI.
That's pretty cool. And I can imagine that can save a lot of time. And by hiring maybe graphic designers and copywriters, and I can have only one assistant, and that's ChatGPT, maybe with plugins, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. And okay, and if this sounds very complicated, there is a tool called Dectopus AI, which is even faster. You simply buy a subscription from that tool, and you can generate the whole presentation with AI. So you just, give it the instructions, you create a prompt. Like, I would like to create a presentation on frogs, for example. The presentation should be for kids between 5 and 7 years old because it will be a school project. And it will generate the whole presentation with cute images, about frogs for your kids, for the school. So this is another tool, which you can use.
Mm-hmm. You are naming some interesting tools. Can you, for people who are really interested in digging into details, would you provide me maybe a PDF with links to those tools and maybe some sheet that can describe the basic techniques that we discussed today?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea actually to put it, in one file so people can actually, as you say, work with it forward and learn, new integrations. There is so many things you can do with either ChatGPT or those plugins that, a summary will be a nice one. So I can prepare it.
Okay. And I will put it on my channel at www.hero.co/Roman Zelenka. So there you will find that PDF. And we also appreciate following this channel and giving us likes or sharing this interview if you like it and if you find it useful. And let's jump back into we are talking about ChatGPT and prompting. So for me as a basic user, it means what I ask the artificial intelligence, and the better I ask, the better results I get. Could you give us some more details? How to ask, what prompting means, and how to prompt in an efficient way?
Okay. I think let's start with the basic or discussion about prompting, right? Prompt engineering in general is one of the most asked job position in the world currently. Nobody has bigger experience than 1 year. So we cannot hire a prompt engineer who has 5 or 10 years experience. There is no such a thing. So everybody, started using prompts 1 year ago when ChatGPT came out. Today, you are using those prompts with BART, for example, which is a tool similar to ChatGPT from Google, or you can use it with Bing from Microsoft, right? So prompts are information which you actually give to AI, artificial intelligence, so it knows what to do. Basically, you can say it now everything you want. So for example, I would like to create an image of, let's say, a coffee table. I am a coffee table producer and I'm not sure how to create the design. So you ask and create the prompt, which is basically the information. The first one, I would like to create a design. Then you give it, like context, so what exactly you want to create, and then additional information that the coffee table should be, made with black wood, for example. So that's basically a prompt, right? And using that prompt, you can build up your design. And the best thing from my point of view as a power user of somebody who is using AI for couple of years, because actually I started before ChatGPT was actually even introduced. I used WriteSonic. That was another tool in the past. The prompt style didn't change so much. What changed is actually the information we give, as you say, the give to AI to understand what we want. So the better the quality of our question or our actually task, the better the answer will be. And for that one, we have a couple of frameworks. So we can use IDA framework, for example, to create more engaging content, or we can use prompt which are more sophisticated. I will include the details in the file. I don't want to jump into so much technical details, but in general, prompt should always contain basic information, what I want to do, middle part, which is give it the context, like what exactly and how it should look like, and then additional information like what I want to do with it later, be it export, import, use web browsing, or so on.
I have another question because I'm working with basic techniques in ChatGPT pretty daily, but I use it only for improving my emails. So I can be very fast writing the content, then defining, okay, this email is going to my business partner. Please use very simple language, friendly tone of voice, and maximum amount of words is 200. It's pretty amazing. And I know that ChatGPT could learn my personality, what results I want, what I expect, but I don't know how to do that. Could you give me some hints about it?
Yeah. There's actually a basic integration within ChatGPT already, which is called custom instructions. So you can actually teach ChatGPT, and this is how AI in general, the neuron web actually learns, that it needs basically a lot of information about everything. To teach ChatGPT how to write email in your style, it needs your bio, it needs to know who are you and how you communicate, what level of English you have, like almost everything. But you can actually import it to custom instructions already within ChatGPT, and then every other conversation, every other email will be written already in that way, which is
Wow.
pretty time saving. You do not need to repeat yourself every time that this tone should be like email should be this, and this version or this.
I will definitely try it because that can save a lot of time. The other thing, I as a leader, maybe I want to use AI assistants to check my business environment, to check my competition. But is that possible these days?
Yeah. It's actually, there are a couple of things how you can do it. Let's say that you are a small business owner, and you have, for example, e-commerce store, and you sell through WordPress, and you have a WooCommerce integration, right? That's our user case. And you are selling, let's say, microphones for podcasters. What you do now, probably you have some inventory, right? You know when you sell your products, and you know how to when to ship them, and the cost of shipping and so on. What you can do now with AI is to make a quick integration or build the automatization with a company who actually specializes in that one, or you can export all your files from WordPress and WooCommerce into one Excel sheet. Then you take that Excel sheet, and you do not need any coding knowledge for that one. You simply import it to ChatGPT, and you say, run a basic analysis of this file. What ChatGPT will do, it will analyze the file, and it will list the first findings it has. Then you can improve it with a second prompt, and in keeping it in a conversation, and you can ask, okay, so basically, when exactly I am selling my microphones, like what podcasters those are, like where they are based, which location should I target with my marketing campaigns, for example, and so on. So ChatGPT will analyze the file again, will run second analysis, and then at the end you will have a nice summary of like, okay, you are selling microphones mostly to Prague, for example, or I'm living in Poland, so to Warsaw, right? So I know that based on that information, I could do it without AI as well, but actually this one is now pretty interesting, that it can actually generate information batch and say, like, okay, if you are shipping to Warsaw, it's better to pack, for example, all those microphones, because you are selling 100 microphones. It's better to pack it in, for example, one pallet and ship it in once. You do not need to ship into end users. And at the end, it might be cheaper to have a second location for your warehouse in, for example, Warsaw, when one person unpacks the microphones and then ships them, within that city, for example. So that's one example how you can use AI for a small business.
Mm-hmm. For me, it sounds like having business intelligence tools that can analyze a big amount of data. I don't know how big. Is there any limitation?
What I know, ChatGPT works with 128,000 context window, which means that it can actually work with around, in normal language, it would be 300 pages PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the largest file you can actually upload, and it will understand it in a very, very good level.
Mm-hmm. When I work with ChatGPT these days, does it have access to the online internet?
Yes, the Pro subscription has actually integration with Bing browser, so you can analyze and use actually the latest data.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a pretty cool thing?
Yeah, can you give us some specific example, some business case, how to use it?
Business case, I think the best will be to refer to the case study I did in my company, in the digital agency, which I have. We looked into, my client actually is a food blogger, right? So somebody will say, okay, food blogging doesn't make money, but when you have 1 million views per month, it actually brings a lot of money. So we analyzed, in the past, the competition when I was doing digital marketing and SEO, which is search engine optimization, right? To improve the website so it ranks fast or high in Google, for example. I used to spend hours of, digging into competition, check what they are doing well, like what are the strengths and, all SWOT analysis. Nowadays, I do not need to do it. I just need the link to the website of that competitor. I go to ChatGPT and say, okay, ChatGPT, this is my competitor. This is the link. Analyze this website for me. What it will do in 1-2 minutes, because it takes a little bit more time, it will open, the integration, go online, analyze the website, and it will give you exactly what you want. So what I did was we analyzed a couple of websites for that competitor, of competition, actually, of that food blogger. And at the end, actually we had, okay, our blog lacks, for example, recipes of for this, I don't know, Ramadan, right? Because she is actually, creating content for Muslim community. So we need more recipes for Ramadan because our competition is in upfront. So what we did, we created more recipes for that Ramadan, right? So what it did actually at the end, what was the result? The traffic is slowly growing up. At the end, we saved countless of hours. I would say actually 50 or 60 hours was saved based on that one case study. So, when you have one client, that's probably okay, 50, 60 hours. But when you have 10, when you have hundreds of clients, when you have a huge agency, a huge business, and you can save 6,000 hours per, for example, month, that's an amazing number, of money saved and energy and resources in general.
Yeah, I can imagine that. that can be very, very useful. Because you mentioned that one of your clients is a owner of a food blog. Because I have clients and they are producing a lot of content. They are experts in their areas, so they can create they can craft a specific article on their own. Maybe they are capable to use AI as an assistant to improve the quality of that article. But what about reusing that content and generating more and more articles, content and videos and pictures? Is that possible? And how would you do that?
That's a pretty good question. So this is what we actually do every single time we create content for clients or in agency, or I create content for myself, right? The repurposing of the content is possible with AI, and it's in a very simple way. In the past, I used to sit in, for hours and say like, okay, I have an article about something, let's say, again, those microphones, right? And I would need to, simply check it line by line and understand what I want to create for my Instagram, what I want to do, or post on my LinkedIn or on Twitter. Now you can go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, break down this article for me. Give me 10 highlights, which I can then turn to tweets, right? Give me 5 carousel posts or create 5 carousel posts based on this article. And you have the text generated very fast. I did a test recently, and you can create 30, pretty simple sub content pieces in a couple of minutes, which would take you, or like a couple of hours if you would do it manually. So repurposing content for creators and using AI is really something they should look into, so they can save time to be more creative, and do more creative work.
And you know what? I will test it with our podcast, with today's interview. I will, and maybe you can give me some hints for specific tools. I would like to, let's say we will have 1 hour interview. I want to create, using AI, I create magic clips, highlights of this interview. I think I will be capable to create caption, transcription from this interview. Maybe from this transcription, I can ask ChatGPT, okay, give me only some 10 highlights, main points, create posts, create articles, and create maybe some short videos. Do you think I will be able to do that without your assistance?
I think you will be able to do it in a couple of minutes. AI integrations are pretty powerful nowadays, and they can really distribute the content as you wish. And as I know, we are using Riverside, which is AI powered, means that it has capabilities. And ChatGPT will definitely help you with transcript, right? You can even translate it to any language you want, which is another thing. If you want to distribute it in China, then you can do it, like pretty easily.
Okay, what about then some content? Can I create some maybe brochure from this interview using ChatGPT?
A brochure. I think yes, but you would need more than ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you to create text or generate basic layout, as we said, with the integration with Canva. But to generate a complete brochure, I would say you would need to go into tools like Dectopus AI, for example, right, which can create the whole presentation for you based on the transcript. So that's something you could do. And I'm thinking about something else. Let me check I have.
What about that tool you recommended me recently? Carousel AI or AI Carousel?
Oh yeah, AI carousels. Yes, that's actually for social media managers or social media or people who actually don't want to spend hours on creating carousels for Instagram and LinkedIn. Then you can sign up for AI carousels and create carousels based on your content, or you can fully create it with assistance of AI without any input. That's also a pretty good one. And I'm thinking about if there is something else. And for now, I would say that if you would like to change it, for example, to other language or like adjust it a little bit, you could use tools like 11 Labs or HeyGen when you can adjust the language of us.
Let's see. I'm really curious about the results, but I will try it anyway. Okay. I have another question. A friend of mine, one of our listeners, she told me that, and I have completely no information about it, that you can create some agents, some assistants that can automate the process of how you generate new content, how you distribute the content. I have no idea how it works. Can you explain? Can you give us some basic knowledge? What are agents and how we can optimize creating content?
Yeah, definitely. So to our listener, I would actually say, or to our listener now, I would actually say that there is many integrations currently which are like popping up each day. They can help you distribute your content. I built a chatbot for my website, so when you go to janvasil.com, in the right bottom corner there is a chatbot, and you think that what can a chatbot give me? Actually, I promote it and I use it for a knowledge. So you can go to that chatbot, and what it does, you can ask it about, okay, what is digital marketing? And you do not need to ask me personally. I do not need to, like give you a consultation on basics. You go to my chatbot and you ask it, and then you have, in a couple of seconds, you have the reply. How does it work? That's the integration of GPT-4 and my website. So it actually downloads the content from my website, and then repurpose it via GPT into the chatbot, which is, the first agent or integration we built. So it's a kind of a triangle, right? Also, you can use it, for example, to automate your emails, right? You go to ChatGPT and you create a prompt like, I would like to stop spam in my inbox. Give me 5 rules I can now import to Gmail. Yeah, this is the prompt I would use. Then it will give you the results, and you copy paste those rules into Gmails, and basically on the words which are taken as a spam, for example, sales and automatization and better business and so on. Basically, based on all those rules, you can save time in your inbox. You have filter which is stopping all those spammy selling, cold calling emails from your inbox. There's another integration or other agent you can use.
And in the future, with the amount of information that is increasing exponentially, I think without these assistants and these tools, we won't be productive anymore. So I like that. By the way, I'm writing a new book. Can I somehow integrate AI assistants into my writing?
Okay, I'm really curious what you are writing about, and looking forward to the book. So, but back to your question, yes, you can use it for everything. If you struggle, and I sometimes struggle too, and I think many of the listeners struggle with, oh, I don't have ideas, I have a bad day now, and I need to be creative. Like, how can I do that? And that's exactly when AI comes into play, right? You go to ChatGPT, you open it up, and you say, okay, I'm having. And you should always, with AI, remember one thing: you should always have a conversation, right? It's not about basic prompt and keep it coding or in a code. So you actually say like, okay, I have a bad day, ChatGPT, like help me to create, I don't know, new chapter for my book, as you say in your case, or like I need to create a presentation for my boss, and I don't know what to write about. The content is this and the title is this, and ChatGPT will help you with that one. So it will help you to overcome that block you have. And if you just need a brainstorming, you create another prompt and say like, okay, this is my new idea about the book. I would like to brainstorm, chapter by chapter, what I can write about. So yeah.
Sounds that I will start using that from starting from today. And I know, and that's very personal. Sorry about it, but I know that you are planning your day and your week with using of AI. Can you give us some details?
Oh yeah, I've actually. Again, when I say a power user, I use AI daily for everything. Like from the moment I wake up, I have a daily, ChatGPT open. And when you ask me about planning my day, this is what I actually built into my routine. That I manage many projects for personal use, clients, and so on. So I needed some overview and some planning advice. Usually or normally you would go and apply for some training, and you would get I know that you had actually a guest about improving productivity on your podcast. So what I did, I created the routine. I told to my ChatGPT that these are my tasks per week for this week. I have 5 hours. I want to work 5 hours this week. I would like to have a break for my lunch and one coffee break, for example, and I would like to break the task in Pomodoro, right? So I have batches and breaks within. ChatGPT helped me to create the calendar. With the capabilities of ChatGPT, or the recent capabilities with exporting the file, I actually simply exported a CSV file, then imported into Asana, which I use a tool, for my planning. You can do it with Trello, for example, or whatever else you have. And I imported the CSV file into Asana, and done. Calendar, plan for my week, ready within 5 minutes. I do not need to spend anything, like more minutes to think about how I want to plan my week.
That's crazy. By the way, have you seen the movie The Creator about AI?
Not yet. It's on my list, on my watch list. Not yet.
That's even more crazy. You will like it.
So then I definitely need to watch it.
Yeah, it's far future, but who knows how it will go. Okay, let's talk about some integrations. We talk about ChatGPT, and you read it everywhere that Microsoft is bringing new plugins, new assistants, Zoom, also Tell us some news. What is happening right now, and how we can use these companions or assistants.
Okay. I think the best will be to, like somehow create the structure, what is currently going on, what will happen in the next week, and what will happen in the next year. So what I see currently is the increase of trainings needed for people, for basic users of either ChatGPT, Midjourney, which is the image generator, or so on. So people are actually now, they are aware that some, AI is actually out there and you can use it. And now they need more trainings on that one. They need to learn how to do prompts. They need to learn how to, work with the content and have more advice and, more trainings. And what will happen in the next weeks is that basically companies will invest more in trainings. Leadership or leaders will invest more into trainings for their employees so they can be more efficient. They can spend more time, doing more creative things, not routine. So that's something what I see for the basic users. That's really important now to learn how to do prompts and to learn how to use those tools, how to export files. So that's something. With the integrations, as you said it, like Zoom already has AI companion, Canva has AI assistant, which I use, almost every day. Like I'm struggling with finishing some design and I need, like increase or add one letter into a Canva design. I do not need to go to Adobe Illustrator and learn or how to work with it. I can go to Canva, I can mark it and say like, okay, adjust this space for me, right? Skip this or delete this letter. So that's something what is helping me, and that's something which will, we will see AI everywhere. From what I know, even Apple now have a new VP for AI. Apple has Siri, right, which is the assistant. Google has Google Assistant and so on, but they are pretty basic. What Apple is also trying, and big companies like Facebook, Google, or actually Meta, Google, and Microsoft, they want to, integrate AI whenever possible. The new phone from Google already has AI assistant fully built into the phone. Apple is working, as I said, on AI. Microsoft is launching Copilot, which is more corporate, environment or created for more corporate environment, combining Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, and all the Microsoft, tools together. So you can have a team call or with your team, right, on Teams. Then you can get a summary of that call. Then that call can be distributed to all the participants via email, which is Outlook. And then you can create the new plan, for example, some sheet in Excel. And then at the end, you can create a PowerPoint presentation based on it. So this is something what is also happening. Big corporations, for example, I know Shell is working with Copilot very often, and they implemented it. They are actually pushing people to use Copilot for daily use, so employees can spend more time, being more creative. So that's the second thing. And the last thing, what will happen in the next couple of months and years, the amount of AI generated content will increase significantly. Like internet will be full of AI, content. And I believe that soon we will need, like some break or some line which will say like, okay, do not create more AI content because it's like everywhere.
Interesting. I'm thinking about the future and about because I'm very passionate about motivating people and training people to be ready, for the new era that is coming. And I think that you mentioned it today, that prompting engineers, this is very requested job these days. So anyone who is good in that area can have a job and a high paid job, I guess. And I'm thinking also how to prepare people, how to train people from someone being in a leadership position and giving them those skills. I can imagine that both of us can provide such a training because now we are only talking about it, but I can imagine that we are sitting everyone has a laptop, creating a new account in ChatGPT, and we are practicing specific examples, specific prompting on ChatGPT. And I think once you try it, then it will become very, very natural for everyone to use that as an assistant. Like you are talking to your wife. Are you talking to your wife anymore?
Yes, we are, but she always, or actually very often, asks me like, how to do this prompt, how to create image. Oh, ChatGPT can do this. So even our discussion, which is like limited in time, can it's always AI related. It's unbelievable.
What do you think about the robots? That can you imagine that you have some robot preparing a coffee at your home, cleaning your home, cooking?
I think that's already what, for example, I bet Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg already have. They have robots. They have smart homes. You can have it as well. You can have a coffee machine integrated, to your phone, and you say like via application, oh, I want a cappuccino or I don't know latte. With AI, what is the difference between the basic user like tools like this and the AI? That it the next morning you wake up. This is what I imagine. The next morning you wake up and the cappuccino is already waiting for you, and it's already made because AI knew that it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday you drink cappuccino, and then on Thursday you drink latte. So it actually creates a schedule and creates a coffee based on your preferences. This is what I can imagine pretty quickly.
Okay. Can you give us, Jan, some references, some good and useful sources for people who would like to learn more, where they can find you and where they can find some very useful tips and techniques?
I think the best to find me, the best way to find me is actually my LinkedIn profile. That's something I will be pushing now, like content wise, not pushing physically, but the content wise. And also Instagram. You can find my name on both platforms. And also recently in December last year, I launched a podcast called The Wired Wisdom. So it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcast. And I talk mostly about AI. So if you are interested and you think that this podcast actually have some value for you, you can follow me there. Those are the best platforms. And for daily usage and the platforms and how to figure out which tool is the best for you, I can create the sheet we mentioned, and I can list some files. I think I will save you 20 to 30 hours of looking through web. Also, if you don't want to wait for such a long time and you are already interested, go to ChatGPT. It has web browsing. Ask what are the best tools to generate images with AI, and you have the list, and that's also an option.
So for you guys who would like to receive that PDF from Jan, go to herohero.co/Roman Zelenka and register for a very small amount of money to support this podcast. You can get access to all episodes without ads and with bonus materials from my guests. Okay, Jan, I'm full of information. After we finish, I think I will ask my AI assistant what I need to do, how to how to plan my afternoon, maybe how I can please my wife, and I'm full of it. And you gave me a lot of inspiration, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye.